I could have one shitty night for $1 million.
Joe Rogan Podcast, check it out.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
Train by day, Joe Rogan Podcast by night, all day.
I only have one Michael Buffer story if you want to hear it.
Sure.
So I went to see Holyfield Lennox Lewis at Madison Square Garden.
Oh, wow.
And I was hanging out with all the cool people at the time. So I'm in the fourth row, and it was infamously a draw. It was almost all English tourists that had come in for the fight. They were booing the national anthem. I mean, it was a pretty riotous atmosphere. And you know, I don't know anything about fights, but it was a pretty boring fight. And Lewis seemed to be a little bit more agile because of youth and all that. Anyway, so right when I, you know, they're in whatever they're doing, HBO, they're over there in the corner, they're doing their bit. You know what I mean? They're talking before they go to the scorecards. And a guy leans forward, the ref, to tell someone in the second row, might have been Don King, and I heard him go, "It's a draw." Right? So I knew it was a draw like 60 seconds before they announced it. Oh. And I was with a lot of well-known people, and I said, "Run." And they're like, "What do you mean?" I said, "We got to run." And I started grabbing people, and we ran out of Madison Square Garden. And we're almost totally out the building, you know, kind of where you get to the concourse part, and you hear the decision, and it's like, and people start, like, here comes the riot vibe.
Really?
So somehow we ended up, because it got
Was it because the decision was bad?
Well, the English people didn't like that it was a draw.
Oh.
Because Holyfield was on the older side, and
right.
I don't know. It's not a well-renowned fight.
I can't remember it.
It was just a draw. It was a stone-cold boring fight, but because it was a draw and all these English people were mad, and Don King was involved, so it was like all that typical brouhaha that was going on in boxing at the time. Anyway, so because of suddenly the riotous or potentially riotous situation, the police started like making people go different ways, like funneling traffic or something. You know, it was almost like they got like code red or something, because like suddenly got really weird. So then we couldn't get out of the building. So somebody recognized somebody in our party, said, "Follow me." And so then next thing we know, you know, we end up like in the VIP backstage part where it's safe. And there's you know, Michael Buffer on a chair. And he wasn't talking to me, but he's talking to somebody, and all I heard him was go, "That's bullshit." Like in that voice. That's all I remember. "That's bullshit."
So was he talking about the decision?
He thought the decision was bullshit, you know.
Letterman's card was heavy for Lewis.
Wow, 117, 111. Harold Letterman, who's always dead on the money. Harold Letterman was always right.
Yeah, so they were saying as it got called, they're like, "This is a travesty."
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm not a fight aficionado, but I thought Lewis was slightly better.
Wow, I forgot about this fight. I completely forgot about this fight. There's so many fights from this era that were incredible. That was an amazing era for heavyweights.
And this is when Don King was still running everything.
Did they ever rematch?
I honestly don't remember.
You don't think so?
No, I think so. When I was typing in, it said 2. Let me see.
That's bullshit.
There's a lot.
with that great voice.
That voice. He's still trucking. He still announces huge.
I wonder what he
fights.
like. Because you ever get that like somebody wants you to do their bar mitzvah or anything? You ever get those requests?
No,
I get those
don't make
requests.
it to me.
Will you come do my bar mitzvah?
Who won this one?
Is that the rematch? Had to be Lewis, right?
I would imagine.
Oh, similar Letterman card.
Similar card. Let's see if they robbed him twice. They gave it to him. All right.
Yeah. Well, they got their rematch. No, you get this thing like, "Hey, will you come do my?" Right. I wonder what Michael Buffer gets to show up somewhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's probably like Saudi Arabia. They have him come over there and introduce someone's birthday.
Is it like half a million thing?
Probably more. Depends. You know, I mean, like,
you know, in my business, they call them privates.
Right. I saw Stone Temple Pilots. They played Dana White's 40th birthday party.
Yeah.
And there was no one in the room other than UFC employees. And they put on a show like it was a fucking sold-out arena. I mean, full blast. They didn't go through the motions at all. It was a phenomenal show.
That means Dana paid him.
Yeah. It was
great
a lot
band.
of money.
I mean, totally. I love those guys.
But they were so professional. It was so impressive. And because they were so like powerful on stage, everybody just started paying attention.
Oh, yeah.
Because it kind of broke out in the middle of this party.
Yeah.
We're at this birthday party, we're all standing around tables, eating food, having fun.
I've done a few things, and it's always a bit awkward,
Yeah.
which is weird because they're all paid gigs.
Right.
But something about a paid gig feels different.
Yeah, there's a lot of entitlement that's attached to like someone's paying you to come perform.
Well,
at
and then
their
you see the
birthday
guy's
party.
wife going, "Who's this?"
Right. There's that too. The people that aren't fans, you're like, oh no. Yeah. Yeah, those are weird gigs because then you go, how much? I could have one shitty night for $1 million.